Who doesn't want to be a lawyer? Defending the weak while punishing the guilty with the truth shooting out of your fingertips. The kind of lawyer who spends their time outside of court at the crime scene, looking at the finer details and enhancing the evidence to find the hidden truth that was all too easily overlooked by a trigger-happy prosecution who will stop at nothing to halt your efforts. I'm pretty sure being a lawyer is nothing like that, right?
No, you know what? I'm the public defender. I have a right to be here, and I have a right to stand and represent
sit
my
down.
clients.
If you want to fight, let's go out back and I'll just beat
Let's go
your
out back.
ass.
Okay, maybe it's a little like that. Well, it's definitely like that in the Ace Attorney series. I'm really happy to be doing this video because I've been a fan of Phoenix Wright for such a long time. From the moment I read about Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney as a kid in GamePro back in the day, I knew I would be a fan. It looked unique, and from the moment I started playing, I was hooked. That's why I was so happy to hear about the great Ace Attorney Chronicles when they were announced last year. North America hasn't seen a new Ace Attorney game since 2016, but the great Ace Attorney Chronicles are two games that were released in Japan all the way back in 2015 and 2017. So was it worth the wait for the West? Let's dig in and find out. Just a friendly heads up, there will be a few early game spoilers in this video, and if you really want to play the great Ace Attorney Chronicles, close this video and go play it right now. Oh, that's weird. Nobody left. For the longest time, I've always referred to the Ace Attorney games as the Phoenix Wright games, but Phoenix is not the star of the latest entry. The great Ace Attorney Chronicles has you playing as Phoenix's legendary lawyer ancestor Ryanosuke Naruhito in the end of the 19th century. It's established early on in the game that the court of law in Japan is in its infancy, having only been recently adopted by Japan observing the British legal system in this fictional version of history. This becomes pretty obvious in the first case of the game when you're wrapped up in a murder you did not commit at a restaurant in broad daylight, where you're able to represent yourself without actually being a lawyer yet. That's right. You're just some dude who kind of figures out legal proceedings on the spot with your lawyer friend whispering in your ear. But being a lawyer in this world is pretty simple, if I'm being honest. In court, the game has you cross-examining witnesses for lies in their testimony. You can do this by pressing individual statements to ask for more elaboration, or you can call out a false statement by presenting contradicting evidence. While the first case takes place in Japan, the rest of the game is in Great Britain, where Ryanosuke is on an educational internship of some kind. When you do cases in Great Britain, a jury is also thrown into the mix, something never before seen in the Ace Attorney series, but that's jury with huge quotation marks. This jury interrupts the court constantly and can decide that the defendant is guilty or not guilty at a moment's notice, potentially ending the trial right then and there. All of this is okay though, because if the jury slaps down the guilty verdict, the defense has an opportunity to grill every member of the jury and ask them why they think the defendant is guilty. Justice! What's nice for Ryanosuke is that the prosecution doesn't get the same opportunity. The moment the judge and jury agree that the client is not guilty, the prosecution legally has to go, meh. If there's something the Ace Attorney series has always gotten right, in my opinion, it's the characters. Back in 2001, when the first Phoenix Wright originally released back on the Game Boy Advance in Japan, memory limitations were a big problem for the series creator Shu Takumi. To get around this issue, he wrote the story to have most of the characters you meet reappear in later cases in the game. While solving the memory limitation issue, he found that people responded well to character reappearances. So after that, What was initially seen as a setback for the narrative actually became a core factor in Ace Attorney's design philosophy, and Ace Attorney Chronicles is no exception. As you solve each and every case, you'll see a lot of familiar faces inside and outside of the courtroom. Oh, that's right, I forgot to mention, the game doesn't just take place in the courtroom. When not in court, you'll be tasked with going to crime scenes to gather evidence, speak to the police, and question witnesses. This is also where a new gameplay feature comes into play. You can assist in deductions with none other than the famous Sherlock Holmes. I mean Herlock Sholmes. Before I can explain deductions and how they work, I need to explain Herlock's role in this game. Also, I'm just going to say this right now, Herlock Sholmes is my favorite character in the game. When you first meet him, he's already the famous detective you know and love from the books. In fact, his partner is the one who writes his books, but it becomes clear very early on that he's not quite the brilliant detective he makes himself out to be. In fact, he's actually kind of an idiot. But there is something special about him. It's strange. He's still a genius who makes his own detecting inventions, like goggles that can detect heat, for example, but it's his pride that makes him speak too soon, and often he just needs a pointer in the right direction. This is where the game's deduction system comes into play. During these segments, Herlock and Ryunosuke grill a person in a theatrical, over-the-top fashion. Herlock is the one leading the deduction. Usually, he'll notice something like the suspect is carrying a pair of scissors. Herlock will then go, "Oh, that's because you were about to cut off your beard, weren't you?" Which will then give control over to the player to see what the suspect was actually hiding. I love Herlock so much because if you select the correct thing, he goes, "Ta-ta, good observation," and then he'll actually get more on the right track. But if you select the wrong thing, he'll scold you for interrupting his brilliant deduction in quite the hilarious fashion. But here's the big question. Did I actually like the game? Yes. I'll be honest with you guys. I know I said I've always loved the series, but that isn't true. The games started to get a very samey vibe after the first 3 games, and I kind of fell out of the series. In fact, I still haven't played Dual Destinies. They've tried bringing in new protagonists before, but this was the first time they chose a new time period. And this is the fresh start that I believe the series desperately needed. There's a lot of conspiracy and big stakes in this game, international stakes. And you're constantly prodding your nose into government secrets in Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. You're not just helping a friend, you're literally stopping a shady 2-game-long conspiracy that involves a secret deal between the Japanese and Great British government. I'm aware most people are not open to visual novels, but if you're a fan of legal drama and mystery, then I really think the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles is worth a try. No prior knowledge of the other games is necessary, and who knows, maybe you'll get a good laugh or two out of it like I did. Thanks for watching.